Yo, what's going on, guys? Naughty here, and I'm a ViPER main. This is all my lineups I use for Haven, all the ones I actually use in the game. If you like it, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you enjoy. So if you want to smoke off inside of Heaven window, come into this corner on top of the sandbags, aim at this corner of the roof, and then in line with this clear piece of dash of the ceiling of the building, and then jump through. And when it lands, it'll land inside the window and smoke it off. If you want to smoke off Heaven, you can come into this corner and put your crosshair into this gap on the roof and just left click. If you want to, with your wall, when you're running up, you can align it to where it's on the edge of the smoke, but it covers like the boxes on short. And so when you detonate it, all you have to worry about is peeking really far out right, and then you can just push on the site. If you want a one-way for CT door, come against this wall until you can't see the inside of the doorway anymore, and then aim at the first single peg and left click.
Poison orb emitted.
So you'll be able to see their feet, and if they're pushing in, they won't be able to see you at all. If you want to give yourself a one-way for CT on C, just wedge yourself in this corner, and then aim at this singular leaf that's pointing towards this wood pole, and just left click.
Poison orb emitted.
You can play right here. So if you want to smoke off CT, come into this corner. To the top right of your toxin bar indicator, and between these two windows on this wood piece. It's right there, and then jump throw. And then when it lands, it'll smoke off all of CT. If you want a one-way for garage door, come in this corner. Go up from the middle of this spot, and then aim below the wire and left click.
Poison orb emitted.
You'll have a one-way in the garage. If you want to smoke off this angle right here, come into this corner, and on the fourth top box, put the top left of your toxin indicator on it, on the top left of it, and then jump throw. And when it lands, it'll cover off this side and this side. If you want to smoke off top platform, come in this corner, and then align your throwing, the white dot on top of your throw indicator on this side and this side of this triple peg of the spikes on the side of the maps, and then jump throw. And land on top of the platform and smoke it completely off. If you want a snakebite default, you can jump on top of these sandbags and aim at this first peg of this building and just left click. It will bounce off of Heaven and land right here. If you want a snakebite, this close strike cubby, align with this edge piece of wood, and put the third or the fourth line of your toxic bar indicator into this corner where the light bulb meets the wire, and then left click. When it lands, it'll clear out this cubby. If you want a snakebite CT doorway, align yourself with this edge piece of wood, and then put the arrows to your fire indicator into this corner right there, and then left click. When it lands, it'll block the entrance off. So if you want a snakebite back of sight, align yourself with the edge of this piece of wood, and then aim above this third light bulb just a little bit and left click. When it lands, it'll clear out this corner. If you want to snakebite these close right boxes, align yourself in between these two pieces of hair of this rabbit on the wall, and aim right on the edge of the box and just left click. So when it lands, it'll cover both the upper and lower of the box. If you want to snakebite top platform on C, align yourself on the barrel like this. Put the top right of your fire indicator in the corner of where the wire meets the orange cloth right here, and just left click. When it lands, it'll clear out all the top. If you want to snakebite bottom platform, align yourself with this barrel, and then put the dot above the E of the toxic screens on the top of this lamp, so like that, and then just left click. And then when it lands, it'll clear out all of backside. The only place it won't cover is really close to the top platform and on top of this box. If you want to snake by default, you can come into this corner and then put the 1 of your 100 health bar into this crack right before this like half pillar. It's like that. And then left click. When it lands, it'll cover all of default. So all of right here. If you want a one-way for A long, hop into the heaven window and go into this corner. Put your crosshair on the second wood beam and then go up until you reach the black slit on the roof and then left click. And when it lands, you'll be able to see their feet, and then from their perspective, they won't be able to see you until they wide swing way over here. Give yourself a one-way very short. Come to this edge of this box in the middle of the silver beam. Aim at this tile, and then just left click. So you can play back here and see their feet. And so when they're coming up short, they won't be able to see you at all. So if you want to give a one-way for this doorway on B, line up with this intersection of the wood, and then just aim in between this circular thing and then the giant gold piece. Just left click. That way you can play from backside, or you can play from mid. If you want a one-way for bottom mid, put your back against this wall and then go over until you can barely see this red edge. And then put your crosshair just below the top left corner of this red box. And then just left click throw. And that way you'll be able to see them pushing out. If you want to give a one-way for C-Link doorway, come in between where these two slits are on the cable. And then aim above this wood piece where the tile is, and then left click. And then you can play from either back here on mid, or you can come over here backside and hold. So if you want to give a one-way for garage, come to where these two triangles are in the doorway, and then bring yourself up to this third line. And then aim where this tile meets this silver area, and just left click. When it lands, you'll be able to either play inside of garage, or you can play on this first step. If you play on this last step, they'll be able to see you. So if you want a one-way for C long, just come against this wall, and then go over until this wood piece links up with this wood piece of the window, and then crouch and aim at this top left corner of the wood piece, and just left click. So when you play, you can play back here, back sight. So when they see through the smoke, they won't be able to see you. They'll just barely see your feet. So way harder angle than what you have. So if you want a one-way for playing on top of platform, just come somewhere in this corner and aim inside this first horn and just left click. And so when you're on top of platform, you'll be able to see their feet unless they go out to the left. And so when they're coming up, they can't see on top of the platform until they get close and up here on the right. If you want to snake bite into A short, you can come into this corner and just aim at this top left corner and left click. When it lands, it'll land right in the middle of the hallway. If you want to snake bite default on A, come into this corner, put the bottom left of your toxic bar indicator into this corner, and then left click. When it lands, it'll cover default. If you want to snake bite the A Long Orb, come in between this wood pillar, and then aim in the middle of this wooden window right here, and then just left click. When it lands, they won't be able to grab orb without taking damage. If you want to stop a push on A short from rotating to B or C, you can come into this corner, put the edge of the right side of the toxin bar indicator underneath the third light bulb, and then left click. And when it lands, it'll land right here in the doorway. If you want to snake bite the Cubby of A, you can come into this corner, and then just aim into this corner of the roof, and then jump throw. And it'll land right here and force anyone playing in this corner to peek out. If you want to snake bite A default from rotating in from C, you can come into this corner, put the last line of your toxin bar indicator in the middle of this window. So right there, and then jumping left click. And it'll land right here. If you want to snake bite the front of A entrance, so it's like right here. Come to this corner. Put your crosshair on this wooden peg, and then just raise it up a little, and then jump throw. And then when it lands, it'll block off the entire entrance. So if you want a Snakebite, default on C. If you're coming from A, you can come into this corner. And then on the Snakebite indicator, the little target, put it on the fence of this building. Just like that, and then jump through. And then when it lands, it'll land right here and clear out default. The Snakebite default on C, come into this corner. And aim below this wooden peg so you don't hit it, and then just left click. When it lands, it'll cover all of default. If you want to Snakebite the C Long Orb, you can come in between this door and this piece of wood, and then put the fire indicator at the top, the white dot on top, put it on this corner, and then bring down until it's on this line. So right here, and then bring it down, and then just left click. And when it lands, it'll cover all around the orb so they can't get it without taking damage. Thank you all for watching my Haven lineup guide. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. And the bind one should be coming in a few days, so be on the lookout for that. Thanks for watching. Peace.